Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. It is my privilege and honor to welcome you all to this historic Conscious Planet Save Soil event. My name is Zakaria and I'll be your host for the evening. Now, as you all are aware, Sadhguru is the founder of Conscious Planet and Save Soil. And he started his solo motorbike journey on the 21st of March, which will take him across 30,000 kilometers and into 27 countries. Starting from the UK into Europe, the Middle East, and then finally to India. London, Amsterdam, Prague, Vienna, Paris, Riyadh, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi. These are just a few of the cities that have hosted Save Soil events so far. And today we're in Muscat to spread a message of environmental awareness, that saving soil is necessary to maintain life on our planet. Now, millions of people across the world over the last few months have been rallying for Save Soil. Sadhguru has gone on this journey, not just for you and me, but for all the future generations. So tell me, are you with him? Now, envisioned by Sadhguru, the Conscious Planet and Save Soil movement seeks to bring about a conscious response to the impending soil extinction. And for this reason, Sadhguru has been on a 100-day dangerous journey across nations as a lone motorcyclist, meeting various people and heads of state to accelerate citizen participation and awareness. As occupants of a shared planet, we now have a unique opportunity to be part of a solution to crises like soil extinction and desertification. We will now be presenting to you a video explaining the science behind the Save Soil campaign.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy. In most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it? Now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. We must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
For my part, as much as I can contribute.
And the movement that you are taken up, I could not expect any more God's blessing than that.
Sadhguru, and this campaign is so important.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
And our planet's future depend on it.
Sadhguru, save soil, my friend.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
We commend you for what you're doing. That is why we are happy to sign the MOU.
The science and philosophy that backs the thought behind the movement is tremendous.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Envisioned by Sadhguru himself, Project Samskriti offers classes and performances of Indian classical arts, including music, dance, and Kalari Piyatu, which is a martial arts form. The artists you're about to witness have invested in these arts from the age of 7, not as a hobby, but as a way of life. I think we're all very excited to watch their performance, but before that, we'll be playing a short video.
Project Samskriti is an endeavor to nurture and impart India's classical arts. Designed by Sadhguru, it offers programs to learn powerful chants, music, Bharatnatyam and Kalaripayattu, an ancient martial art form conducted by the rigorously trained students and alumni of Isha Samskriti. The art forms are imparted in their most profound form as possibilities for inner growth and transformation.
Project Samskriti is not today's idea, it's been in incubation for nearly 25 years. So this is an effort, not to save the art form alone, but to bring up humanity to a higher level of existence within themselves.
Namaskaram. One with a fierce heart of fire, draped in the rivers and oceans, with hair of open sky and her body the ground beneath our feet. Mother Earth, our source and sustenance. Time is ticking away as we exploit this strong and gentle source of life to build our lives, our comfort, our luxuries. We have ignored her call, her plea. As her children, we suffer the consequences of our actions upon her. Time is ticking away. It's time to reinvigorate and celebrate the mother that has birthed us, fed us, and the one who will embrace us into her bosom in our death. O Mother, in celebration of your grandeur, in concern for your well-being, in love with all that you are to us, we dance in tune with your rhythm, as we are only a part of you.
my feet, your soil. When you rise, you become a tree. Again, you fall as a leaf. Who are you? You come up as a crop. You give me life as food. Whether I am alive or dead, you are the only refuge. Who are you? You come as water. You come as milk. You come as honey. Who are you? If I eat, it is soil. If I breathe, it is soil. If I die, it is soil. Oh, my mother, who are you? Soil. In the root, there is a stalk. In the stalk, there is branch. In the branch, leaves, bud, flower and fruit, all rooted in soil. That is not our making. The soil, the very soul of all life, shall neither perish nor is created, but in a constant turnaround. A tree and a termite hill, the rough hide of an elephant and the fine silk of the spider, the beasts that you kill and the people that you love, all a recycle of soil, soil and soil. The magic of soil is it turns death into life. Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
Thank you, Project Samskriti and Radhi Jaggi, for such a wonderful performance. I don't think I'm the only one that finds it really inspiring to see not only the skill and dedication that it takes to make such a performance possible, but also to see so many young artists come around Save Soil. So today is the 25th of May, which marks the 66th day of Sadhguru's iconic 100-day journey. So Sadhguru's goal has been to bring awareness to the state of soil and what we can all do collectively in order to enhance it. We would like to share a few moments from Sadhguru's journey so far.
It's a great pleasure for me. These beautiful Caribbean nations are going for this fast.
This memorandum of understanding that we are signing, it will also bring some technical assistance to the Caribbean region.
This is a historic moment because here is the first step to turn around.
What you're doing today is really important because people like you who have a wonderful following of millions and millions of people, and what you're doing with that is so important with saving the soil.
If you want to say, I love you to your child, you must just say save soil, because it is a more committed way of saying I love you.
It's an extraordinary campaign. It echoes what we in the Commonwealth have been aspiring to do for a number of years.
Next 100 days from 21st of March, we want the whole world to talk about soil.
It is not about the motorcycle, it's not about the journey, it's not about the song, it is about moving people on the planet. Make it happen, huh?
Nobody spoke about soil like Sadhguru does.
I think if we all contribute, then we have a really strong voice.
There has been so much excitement and everybody is so excited to hear Sadhguru.
This is our time on the planet. What we do here is our business. Let's do the right things.
I honestly didn't feel a part of the movement before. Obviously, I'd never met him. Seeing what kind of a following he has and how impactful it is, I really feel like I just joined a global movement.
Graffiti artists supporting this Save Soil movement, wanting to inspire the youth, and youth being the major population in most parts of the world today, all graffiti artists, to whatever walls that you have, make sure that you use this. One of the most beautiful cities of Europe.
It really resonated with me, the message that we have to save our soil.
It's our common issue together. It's not for one nation, for one person, but we as people have to unite and to solve this.
This is a celebration of human beings coming together to do what they need to do. All of us have been part of this destruction. The only way is all of us become part of the solution also.
Thank you, Sadhguru.
anything?
Riding on to Italy. Italy is raining heavily tonight. Here in Venice.
It's like a wave of hope.
Is necessary for the future.
Over 2,000 years ago, this eternal city made the mistake of over-farming the region, and that was also the fall of the city at that time. So, the Romans of today should never make that mistake once again.
And we are very happy that we are aligned in our message to really hide the profile of soils.
Young people getting into farming is very good. That's the future of the world. Here we are in Geneva.
I think it's a message of urgency, but it's also a message of hope. So I'd really like to thank Sadhguru for his leadership.
The global movement led by him addresses the soil crisis by mobilizing people around the entire world.
This massive fountain in the Lake of Geneva is lit up for Save Soil today with Save Soil colors of blue and green. You cannot stop this. The moment is on. It's going to be on till the policies are done.
In this cold, slippery road and winds are picking up speed, no matter what the hell, I have to keep going. You think this is a problem? Relentless commitment to what you do. That is the only solution. Save soil, let's make it happen.
An MOU to be signed between Isha Foundation and 4,000 Initiative Soils for Food Security and Climate.
We were just sharing exactly the same objective, increasing carbon content in the soil.
Sadhguru, what you are doing is really impressive.
I'm quite amazed and thrilled by it.
I was very honored to be on the stage and be able to actually express that his mission is what we need.
It's fantastic. The grants have been great.
Well, Brussels.
We should all stand up and make the most impact we can to create a real change in the world.
Save the soil.
A smashing evening at the main event. And a super enthusiastic crowd committing themselves to make this happen.
It's heartwarming to see everybody come together.
Save soil, on the move. Let's make it happen. Just look up the news and see in the last 4 months how many governments have started talking about soil because they see it's picking up momentum. But if you create 3 to 4 billion people talking about soil, that's it. That will be the main conversation in the government.
Save the Soil is a very important movement that we support as UNCCT. We would like to propose to the world to do whatever they can to protect the soil because it is our future.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
I need someone to show me the way. I need someone to show me the way.
The Education Ministry in Germany has now come into the picture officially and asked all the children to do artwork to support Save Soil movement. Good, Arjun, wonderful. Congratulations that you wrote to the Prime Minister.
Let's make it happen!
So, on the way to Bratislava, well, the road surface is not great. It's great that all of you are here in Bratislava. Nobody ever imagined 100 years ago that we will have to save soil of all the things.
would you like to come in the kitchen and cook with me a little bit?
Why not? Without soil being rich, food won't be rich. Without food being rich, our bodies will not be a full potential.
What do you call that?
It's a Sadhguru sir.
Table 12.
The old heroes always built something which stands up like this, but the new heroes are those people who will nurture the soil which always lies beneath our feet, never stands up.
This wonderful city of Belgrade, the UNFAO said something which really deeply hurt me, is the soil that we are consuming right now belongs not even to these little children, belongs to the unborn child. This is an expression of our love and responsibility for our own lives and the future lives.
I love the message that he sent and how he broadened it, that it's everybody's responsibility.
I think there is a great potential for a good collaboration, partnership with the campaign Save Soil, and what we are doing as a government, we can make it together.
It's very important, bringing a certain sense of love and celebration towards the land that we walk upon.
Going from Sofia to Bucharest, not a weather for motorcycle for sure.
Organize yourselves whichever way you want, form groups, come together somehow and see this happens.
Sadhguru reminded me that I have a voice.
The people from Istanbul were really amazed by Sadhguru to appear, and they were just so happy to see him.
This many people, if all of you are committed and you spend 15-20 minutes a day to enhance the message, I think I don't have to go on riding like crazy. Yesterday I rode 18 hours, can you believe this, through Bulgarian roads?
His honest expression of his wisdom and love for humanity, I think.
He's been riding through very rough terrain, rough roads, dusty construction sites. It was a long drive and we were getting a little late for the live event at Tbilisi. He, right at the end, maybe 5 minutes before the event, decided that he couldn't stop for a break.
In the traffic, he was just removing his jacket and gloves and throwing in the car just to make it on time.
The whole purpose of this moment is to bring this home, that when you walk upon the soil, you know it is the source of your life. Keeping it alive is the most important thing. Will you make it happen?
From God, for the people, for the earth, for the soil.
We must save the soil, we must plant the trees, we must replenish the forests, we must save our planet.
wonderful. Thank you so much for standing up for soil. Right now, soil has turned into sand because we pulled out all the organic content. We are taking the life out of the soil. If we don't put that back, all the other concerns which are important to be attended to, but none of them will matter.
This is not for us, this is for him and his generation, hoping that they would have a better future with a better world. Save soil.
Here in Palestine, wonderful to be here.
I salute you and I respect your initiative and my full support of what is needed from the Palestinian side to support you.
The most important thing is we must keep our lands alive for future generations, because that is a fundamental responsibility we hold for our children and future generations beyond them.
Whatever I can tell you as a motorcycle driver, I also like motorcycles, and it's not easy. This guy is devoted, and this is what makes him so impressive, and so he touches people.
When it comes to agriculture, when it comes to soil, when it comes to soil ecology, our national borders mean nothing, because microorganisms operate as a global system. People are talking about doctors without borders. I'm asking you, are you beings without borders? Are you a life without borders? Implementation has to happen on the land, and land is not managed by scientists, land is managed by farmers. So it's extremely important. It must be a single-point agenda, incentive-based agenda. If inspiration, incentives and disincentives after a certain period of time is the way forward, this is my appeal to every one of you, because I don't want this COP15 to end as one more convention with more paper and more paper. This must end with concrete action, and action in such a way that it's implementable.
No word to describe what Sadhguru is doing for us.
If we want to see everybody prosper, it is so important that each of us do our part and raise our voices.
Save soil, let's make it happen!
You know, the most important thing of what I have learned from him is that the most important thing is to live in harmony and peace within yourself. And خذوا التربة and save soil.
40 minutes past midnight, just another maybe 30 kilometers to the Emirates border, UAE border. It's been a long drive. Totally 930 kilometers today we are doing. Well, UAE has become, an airline hub and a shopping hub and other kinds, but nobody imagined it could be an ecological hub.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Sadhguru, on this wonderful journey. The UAE is partnering with you on Save Soil, such an important cause.
Save Soil is surely a cause that we can all fully endorse. Sadhguru, I would like to thank you for including the United Arab Emirates in your inspiring journey.
I'm proud to share that the UAE is working hard to include soil management and national strategies and policies.
Saving soil is one of the most important things on the planet right now.
It's not his mission, it needs to become all of our missions.
I'm here to save soil.
I had a meeting with Sadhguru Ji somewhere in December, I believe. And the net outcome of that whole thing is that I have earmarked funds to make good of the eco deficit of that particular year. Economy should also grow, but it should have an ecological responsibility in its growth.
Right now everybody is talking about robotics. It's time robotics goes into agriculture. Right now you have a big machine which just rips the soil off. This, if you leave the robotic machines through the day and night where just as much as needed they can do. They don't have to rip the whole soil. Yes, science is already there, we know what to do. It is just that industry is not caught up because in the policy those things have not come.
And now it is my honor to invite His Excellency Amit Narang, Ambassador of India to Oman, to please come on stage and address the audience.
I know that was not for me. But thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, good evening, Assalamu alaikum, namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome in Oman on your behalf Sri Jaggi Vasudev ji, or as he is more popularly known, Sadhguru. A spiritual master, venerated guru, thinker, speaker, author, wise counsel, environmental champion. Sadhguru ji's work over the past several decades has spanned an enormous range of work, from guiding a path to human consciousness, channeling an inner engineering for self-discovery and realization, promoting social harmony and universal tolerance, raising awareness on pressing environmental issues, as well as fostering a better and more humane society. In doing so, he has touched millions of lives all around the world, an outreach that is reflected in his rock star popularity across nations and cultures. Sadhguru, a warm welcome to you on behalf of all these wonderful people, Indians and Omanis, who have come to meet you. At the outset, let me also put on record my sincere appreciation and thanks to the government of Oman and the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq for their generous support to this movement and to this visit. Friends,
Few issues should be as obvious for urgent collective human action as that of soil health. Yet, no issue perhaps is more neglected. While air and water do get their share of good press, soil quite literally remains beneath our feet, unseen, unheard, and taken for granted. Yet, as Sadhguru will tell us, the ground is slipping away from under humanity. And if urgent action is not taken to preserve, conserve, and nurture the soil that nurtures us, it may well be too late. Ladies and gentlemen, a good leader, they say, is the one who doesn't just talk, but who walks the talk. But Sadhguru, in his characteristic way, has gone a step further. He has not merely walked the talk, he has literally motorbiked the talk. Over the past 66 days, as we have seen in this video, he has biked across 26 countries as a solo bike rider, covering over 30,000 kilometers. In doing so, he has touched over 2 billion lives. This morning, we were witness to his sheer grit and endurance as he rode from Fujairah to Muscat in about 3 hours in temperatures that were difficult for us to even stand outside in the sun. Truly a feat of enormous human endurance and a journey of immense global significance. It is indeed fitting that his remarkable global journey is concluding in this blessed land of Oman. For millennia, Oman has been at the crossroads of human civilization, not just geographically, but also culturally. An essential characteristic of this nation that has made its people so broad and open-minded, culturally confident and cosmopolitan, and ever welcoming and kind. Thank you, Oman. It is also fitting that this remarkable journey is taking place in the 75th year of India's independence. What better way for India to celebrate its 75 years than the most famous yogi of India, traveling the world over with a message of peace and a message on an issue that truly unites all of us as humanity. For India, of course, there are few countries as close and few relationships as special as that with Oman. And I'm very happy to be witness to today's event as India-Oman friendship marks a new day in welcoming Sadhguru, a messenger of peace and a torchbearer on soil. Sadhguru, we are all very eager to hear from you, to listen to you, your message and your blessings. May I invite you on the stage. Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskaram and good evening to everyone. The only word I know is marhaba, I don't know if it's the right word to say. Okay. Well, in the evolution of civilizations on this planet, the maritime relationships between different cultures in ancient times has been one of the most important aspects of civilizational development in the world. Unfortunately, our history books have not paid enough attention to it almost anywhere in the world. And that activity of maritime connections first began in this region between India, Oman, Bahrain, these spots and that side, Cambodia, Vietnam. This is where the first sailing ships went. Today, unfortunately, people believe it's only the Europeans who first started sailing. But over 12,000 years ago, we had a very sophisticated port in India where symbols and coins and other aspects of Oman, Bahrain, UAE have been found which are 12,000 years old. So that is how old it is and that's how instrumental this Indian Ocean region has been in the evolution of the world's civilizations. Well, today focus might have shifted elsewhere. When a tree grows, it is the root of the tree which is most important. But once the fruits come, nobody thinks about the roots, everybody is talking about the fruit. But in many ways, these nations and these regions and these cultures have been the roots of civilization on this planet. And it's my greatest privilege to be here in Oman, Muscat. Thank you very much for all of you. And Oman is the last nation I'm in before I step into India and Indian monsoons. As if I have not already been battered by different kinds of weather, Indian monsoon is just building up and waiting for me. When I was less than 25 years of age, I used to ride through Indian monsoons on a 250cc Java motorcycle called SD in India. And I would see even at that time, once the rains picked up, today there has been a little bit of disruptions, but still, when it starts raining, it would rain for 5 days in a row, non-stop. When these rains were full on, everything would stop on the highways. The highways were nothing much to talk about in those days, but still everything would stop, even the trucks would stop. I would be a lone motorcycle riding through the rain because I had made up my mind, weather is never going to stop me from doing what I want to do. But I never thought at the age of 65 I will be doing this. With all the love and support from all of you, this has become possible. For those of you who are thinking that I've always been living on my motorcycle, is my microphone working? Hello? Can I make this work? No. Okay. So, those of you who are thinking that I've always been living on motorcycles, no. For 32 years, I neither rode a motorcycle nor did I even think about them. Because I was so busy with whatever I was doing, it never occurred to me that I should ride. It's only when we were on the Rally for Rivers movement in India, when I was in Bangalore, where some people had heard about my motorcycling days and they brought one motorcycle and said, Sadhguru, why don't you ride? I looked at this thing, I had not seen a motorcycle properly for 32 years. I thought, can I really ride this thing? Now, after 32 years break, and I sat on it and I realized I had not lost a day. And since then I've been traveling all over both in United States and India, only on motorcycle. And the pandemic situations came in handy that everybody said you must keep social distance. Then I realized riding a motorcycle fast enough is the best way to keep social distance from everybody. So the 2 years of pandemic, mostly I was on the motorcycle, which kind of prepared me for this journey. People are asking me, Sadhguru, yesterday the General Director of, Director General of, UNCCD, the UN Agency for Combating Desertification, asked me, Sadhguru, who came up with this motorcycle ride idea? This is the most brilliant idea. Because the COP15 for the first time ever got 9 billion hits after I went there and came, 9 billion. So soil has come to focus for sure. You're in the wrong place. Okay. She's a virologist, she's the one who creates viruses. So, then this whole thing happened because last 30 years I've been talking to people about soil in various capacities. What is this Boeing 775? Hey, who is this guy? Who is talking on this microphone? Hello, can you sit in the audio room? Somebody wants Boeing 775. It's not a good airplane. Okay. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, please stop them, who is talking. Now, this whole movement came up because 30 years I've been talking about soil. Everybody says, Sadhguru, it's great, it's fantastic, and they go to sleep. They sleep on it. I've spoken to governments, I've spoken to ministers, I've spoken to various people in responsible positions. Everybody says, Sadhguru, what you're saying is really great. Sleep. So I was just thinking, what do I do to wake up all these people? Well, I don't hold any position in the world, I'm not had any official position in the world, I'm not a minister, I'm not in charge of any governments or organizations. So the only thing I have is my life, I've always stuck it out. I thought the only way is to stake my life, to put it to risk, only then people will sit up and listen. And it's worked. So some of the experts in the field, the social media metrics people are saying, since March 21st, about 2.3 to 2.4 billion people have spoken about soil. No, don't use your hands like that, I have some work for your hands. We have to make sure at least 60% of the world's population expresses their concern for soil and keeps it up. And because you're Omanis, I'm giving you 66% discount. How's that? When I started in London, I told them, you have to keep this message up for 100 days. Today I'm giving you 66% discount, only 34 days. Hello? Can you keep the message up? People are asking me, how did you become a soil scientist? When did you become an ecologist? I am none of these things. I am not a soil scientist, I am not an ecologist, I am not an environmentalist, I am not even an activist, I am not. This whole thing is just this. We are living on this planet. If you pay little attention, if you pay attention to a leaf, not many leaves in your country, if you pay attention to insect, if you pay attention to an ant, if you pay attention to anything in creation, it can engage you for a whole lifetime. That's how intricate and sophisticated everything is. But everybody is busy with what's happening in their heads. They are not interested in living in this world. They have made their own silly little world in their heads and they want to live there. Because I got nothing in my head, I'm empty up there, so I live on this planet. I lived on this planet for 6.5 decades, and because I don't know nothing, I paid attention. Yes, this started happening to me. This microphone is going down. This started happening to me when I was 4.5 years of age. I just realized I don't know anything. Don't know anything means don't know anything at all. If somebody gave me a glass of water, I'm just staring at this water because I don't know what water is. I know how to use it, but I don't know what it is. Even you today, you do not know what it is. Hello? You know how to use it, but do you know what water is really? It is the only substance available in all the 3 different states, and if we want to look for life, we look for a drop of water, but we don't know what it is. With all the scientific research and knowledge we have, we still do not know one atom in its entirety. We know how to break it, we know how to fuse it, we know how to destroy things, but we do not know what it is. So I started staring at things. Water means I'll stare at water. If I find a leaf, I'm just staring at the leaf for hours on end. If I sit up in my bed, I'm staring at the darkness for the whole night. So my dear father, who was a physician, started thinking, I need psychiatric evaluation. Even now, a lot of people are thinking about that. Because at this stage in my life, attempting something like this, I need evaluation. So he started thinking, I need psychiatric evaluation. This boy is simply staring at something, he's lost it. My problem is, I look at this one, I don't know what it is. I'm not able to shift my attention to this one. I'm just looking at this because still I don't know what it is. In this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, don't look here and there, pay attention to the teacher. I went and paid attention to the teacher, like that. The kind of attention that they would have never received in their lives. And as I was looking at them, they started talking something. Initially I sort of understood what they were trying to say. Then I realized, they're just making sounds, I'm making up the meaning. See, right now, I'm speaking English language. Language is a conspiracy between 2 people. If I'm among you, Omanis, if you want to say something among yourself that you don't want me to know, you will go into your language. That's a conspiracy, isn't it? So right now, if I utter one sound, you make up the meaning, this is an understanding. But if you just listen, they're just sounds, isn't it? When I realized they're just making sounds, I'm making up the meanings, I stopped making the meanings and I just heard the sounds. Teacher after teacher coming and making sounds and sounds and sounds. I did not ignore them, I paid absolute attention to them. It became very amusing. A big smile spread on my face, but they were not amused. Like this, my education continued many times. Only when I reached the school, I reached, otherwise I started looking at something and I stayed there for the whole day and went back home. So about 12 or 13 years ago, this school where I studied… Hello. This school where I studied, now my beard is functioning. This school where I studied nearly 45 years ago, the trustees of this school came to invite me for their 125th anniversary. I said, see, why me? Because I was not just a not good student, I was not even a student. Why me? I'm not a good example for your children. They said, our school has produced union ministers, our school has produced cricketing stars, film stars, all sorts of people. You are the only mystic, you must come. I said, okay. So I went there and stood up in that quadrangle, the same oppressive buildings. I looked around, then I saw this classroom. I remembered, I was around 13 years of age, 12, 13 maybe, yes. And one afternoon, this teacher is asking me a question and trying to get a response from me. Those days I'm made like this for days on end, I don't even utter a single word. When you don't know a damn thing what to say. So I'm still drinking in life, I'm just trying to grasp life, but everybody is acting like they know everything. I'm the only one who doesn't know anything. So I'm paying absolute attention to the teacher. Initially I hear words, then I hear sounds, after that I don't even hear that. Then first I see the person, hello. Then I just start seeing just a blob of energy there and I'm just looking. I know that man's past, present and future, but I can't hear what he says. So he's asking me a question and trying to get a response. For about 35–40 minutes he tried, but I said nothing. Not really refusing to say I don't even see it. So he came and held me by the shoulder, shook me violently like and said, "You must either be the divine or the devil. I think you're the latter." See, till then I had this problem, what is this, hey, what's happening? What is this, what is that, about everything I have a billion questions. But there was one certainty, this is me. But suddenly this guy confused me about this also. I look like this, is this divine, is this devil, what the hell is… Hey, the microphone, please. So he confused me about this also. I tried to stare at myself, it did not work, so I closed my eyes. This is how my journey began. I closed my eyes initially for minutes, hours, days, went into weeks. If I close my eyes, I don't open my eyes at all, because I'm just trying to figure out what is this. Well, I had seen certain things. Can I tell you a story? See, but you must respond to a story. When I say, once upon a time, you must go, hello? Otherwise, what's the point? There's a certain way to listen to a story. I had a great-grandmother who lived to be 113 years of age. And I saw her only after she's 100 years of age. And when I would see her only in our summer vacations, when all of us who are living in different cities went back to our ancestral homes. We are about 36 children from the age of 4 to about 18–20, living in different cities. All of us got back there for about a month or 40 days or 45 days. One rollicking place, crazy. But in the evenings, my great-grandmother is the star because she has a way of telling stories. And she will start the story, there is one beautiful princess. Hello, somebody can enact it? Hey, can you enact it? So she starts combing her hair. Her hair is so long, like this, it'll go. In between there are so many stories. Before the comb reaches the end of her hair, our vacation will be over. We say, tell us the end. She says, no, come next time. I say, you're 100 years old plus, you will be dead by the time we come. She says, no, you come, I will complete the story. Like this stories go on. And I saw her in various kinds of states. She would be ecstatic. Her hair was like up to her knees and she would be dancing crazy tears dripping down her eyes, laughing, crying at the same time and just dancing. Everybody in the town said, this is a devil of a woman because she dances, she cries, she laughs, and mainly because she laughs. Those days women were not supposed to laugh loudly. I pity not the ladies, I pity the men. How did they live with women who cannot laugh? How do you go back to your home where there is no laughter? So, but this woman laughs means the whole street will shake, like that she will laugh. So, hearing her laughter, they said she's a devil of a woman. And at the age of 68, after a few years after her husband passed away, it's a very wealthy agricultural family, so she went and built a temple for herself. Not for any god, she went and sat there. And people come there to meet her and stream of people coming there to meet her all the time. I don't know what she was doing, I was too young to know that, but people came, they came out with tears in their eyes all the time, all that kind of stuff anyway. But what really struck me about her was, in the mornings when breakfast was served to her, during the vacation she would come and stay with us. If breakfast is served, nearly 50 to 60% of her breakfast, she would give it to the ants, sparrows, squirrels, all this she would go about feeding. There are self-appointed advisors who say, you old woman, you don't eat properly, you will die. They all died. She didn't. And if the ants are eating this food, she would be sitting there with a big smile and tears dripping down her eyes. I thought, why is she so emotional about the ants? And I'm like 4 or 5 years of age, I go chuk, 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 chuk. Because for me, ants get on to me and probably you've not had this experience for a long time, you must try it. Go stand on an ant, their home, their apartment home, boom, once they come up your legs, oh, it's an experience. So I'm stamping all these ants. She won't stop me, but she feeds them and she cries. I ask, what the hell are you doing here, crying like this for these ants? She would just laugh and say, one day you will know. It took me a little over 20 years to know what it is. I grew up to be a super skeptic about everything. Then one afternoon when I was busy with my businesses and variety of other activity that I was doing, I went up… Anybody familiar with Mysore? Mysore people, is it? Oh, Nammuru, Mysuru. Oh, you also? Okay. So Mysore is a pretty little town in the south, and there is a small hill almost in the middle of the city. And Chamundi Hill it's called. So I have camped there when I'm 8–10 years of age. This is a big mountain for us to trek when I'm 8–10 years. It's a small hill, but in my experience it was a big mountain at that time. We climbed these mountains. Later on when I started cycling, I cycled up this hill whenever we feel like it. When we started motorcycling, if you want to test our motorcycles, Chamundi Hill is the place. Just about anything happens to you, you go up Chamundi Hills. If you fall in love, you have to go up Chamundi Hills. If you fall out, you must go up Chamundi Hill. If you have nothing to do, you must go to Chamundi Hill. So that afternoon, I just found about an hour and a half where I had nothing to do. I did not even think of going there. Somehow I just rode up Chamundi Hill because it's so much of a part of our life where time means we just ride up Chamundi Hill. So I rode up Chamundi Hill, I'm so familiar with this hill. I had one rock which was known to me well. I parked and I went up and sat on this rock. My eyes were open. Till that moment, I always thought, this is me, this is somebody else. I got no problems with this somebody, but this is me, that is somebody. Suddenly I did not know which is me, which is not me. What was me was just all over the place. I thought this lasted for 10–15 minutes. When I came back to my normal consciousness, I found tears in my eyes. Tears and me were impossible. In my adult life, I had never seen a single teardrop in my life. Here I am, my shirt is all wet with tears. And every cell in my body is bursting with blissfulness. I try to shake my head, my very super skeptical mind I have, and I shake my head and try to see what is happening to me. The only thing that my mind could tell me was, maybe you're going off your rocker. Then I spoke to my closest friends. Something is happening to me, I'm just blissed out. Every cell is oozing ecstasy. What is happening? Come on, tell us, what did you drink? What did you pop? I knew there was no point talking to anybody because there was no context. Then I experimented with this in many different ways, and then I found, if I just take my hands off my psychological process, every cell in the body bursts out. Then I did many experiments with it in a few weeks, and I realized this is it. If I keep a little distance between my psychological process and myself, everything becomes blissful. Then I thought, this is it, I have discovered this. On that day, the world's population was 5.6 billion people. I sat down and made a plan. In 2.5 years, I will make the whole world blissful. 40 years now. Hello? 7 days of the week, 365 days, almost every day, 18 to 20 hours we've been working. Today people say we've touched a little over 2 billion people, but that's not my idea of the world. My idea of the world today is 8 billion people. Because on that day, I could not imagine, who would not want to live blissfully? Hello? If you are given a choice to live blissfully or miserably, what is your choice for yourself? You must choose, I'm going to bless you. Blissfully, isn't it? This is everybody's choice. But it took me many years to realize so many people are committed to their miseries. Even if you offer them the highest thing, they are committed to their own miseries and they will carry on those miseries. So 40 years it's been, now I am condemned to die as a failure, I know that. So that's why with Save Soil I reduced my target to 50% of the population. For every human being to live wonderfully within themselves. When I say wonderfully within themselves, see, what is it that you're looking for in life? You want your life to be pleasant, isn't it? Hello? You must say yes or no because I'm blessing you. You want your life to be pleasant. What pleasantness means? If the body becomes pleasant, we call this health. You want it? Yes. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If the mind becomes pleasant, we call it peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If our very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If our surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only to create pleasantness in our surroundings, we need the cooperation of many people and forces in the world. Because pleasantness in the surroundings depends on variety of factors. But pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, pleasantness of emotion and pleasantness of your life energies is 100% your business. Hello? But why is it such a simple thing is not happening? Why so much misery in the world? Simply because this is the case of a potato farmer. You heard of this potato farmer? One more story. Once upon a time, there was a potato farmer. One day he wanted to eat apples. And he started looking here and there and then he found the right tree. What tree was it? Apple tree. He found the apple tree. But out of sheer habit, he started digging for apples in the ground. And after some digging, when he found no apples, he became furious and dug furiously. Slowly the tree came down upon him. This is the story of humanity right now. It is in pursuit of human happiness and well-being, this damage has happened. This is not because there is one evil force sitting somewhere and wanting to destroy this planet, there is no such thing. It is in pursuit of happiness and well-being of all of us that we have caused this level of damage where we are talking about soil extinction. Extinction means we normally thought dinosaurs and dodos. No, we're talking about soil. What does soil mean? See, today, unfortunately, in the last 2.5 years, I've been meeting so many ministries of agriculture across the world. Unfortunately, 85% of the nations still refer to soil as an inert substance that they can fix by adding a chemical or taking out a chemical. But soil is the largest living system not only upon this planet, in the known universe. There is no such material anywhere which springs life like this. If you sow death into it, life will come out of it. Hello? There isn't another thing like that anywhere in the known universe, but we are calling it a resource. This is like all of us have fed upon our mother's breast. Will we call her a resource, or is she the source of our life? See, when these little ones say that, that's it. But soil is the mother of our mothers. All our mothers have come out of this soil. 87% of the life on this planet comes out of just 15 to 18 inches of topsoil. Can you believe that? A handful of soil has 8 to 10 billion organisms in it. There are zillions of them across the planet. There are millions of species of organisms, but today, 27,000 species of organisms, yes, you heard it right, 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct every year. Every year, 27,000 species are going extinct. At this rate if we go, we are sliding like this, at this rate if we go, somewhere between 25 to 40 years from today, we will come to a place where we will not be able to grow anything in this world because there will not be enough microbial activity out there in the soil. Microbial activity means, why should I care whether microbes are there or not? Because especially after the pandemic, you hate everything that you can't see. Just reminding you, 60% of your body is microbial life. Only 40% is your parental genetics. I was in Sofia, and this little girl, 8-year-old girl comes to me and says, Sadhguru, I want to do save soil, but my mother is not letting me do it. I said, you tell your mother she's only 20%. Yes, that's a fact. The fact of the matter is your parents are only 40% of this body, 60% is microbial life. If all the insects on the planet die today, in 4 to 6 years' time, all life on this planet will end, including you and me. If all the worms on the planet die today, in the next 2.5 to 4 years, all life on this planet will end, including you and me. If all the microbes die right now, all of us die right now, because they're 60% of our physical self. But what has happened in the world is like this. In the last 70 years, 67% of vertebrate life on the planet has disappeared. 82% of the biomass insects have disappeared. 92% of inland aquatic life has disappeared. The ocean life, how much it's disappeared, there's no proper measure, but that is also quite substantial. Because we need to understand, all of them, microbes, insects, worms, birds, animals, trees, everybody can survive without us, but we cannot survive without them. We cannot survive without them. So when we talk about soil, the simple thing that I'm asking all the governments is just to make simple policies, incentive-based, because farm economy around the world is so fragile. So fragile means, in the last 25 years, over 500,000 farmers have committed suicide across the world. People think this is just only in India. No. In United States, there have been situations where whole families have shot themselves. Because in the last 12 years, 50% of the American farmers have not seen a single dollar of profit. Last 2 days I've been sitting with the farm representatives in Davos. The distress level that they're talking about is unbelievable in an affluent country like United States. Because this is not one nation's problem, this is a global problem. Because not a single nation in the entire world has minimum 3% organic content as an average in their soils anywhere in the world. This is what we have done to this world. The highest that you find in the world is in Northern Europe, which is 1.48. When the prescription is to call soil as soil, it must have 3% minimum organic content. 1.48 is the highest average we have in Northern Europe. Southern Europe has 1.1 to 1.2%. United States has 1.25%. Africa has 0.3%. India has 0.68%. 62% of India's land has been considered as degraded in the last 40 years' time. But for over 12,000 years, southern India has the history of 12,000 years of farming. 12,000 years we managed the soil well. In 40 to 45 years, we are turning it into a desert. This is the ingenious nature of our understanding of science, unfortunately. We lost all our sense. Simple sense that every farmer had is gone, now it's all commercial science. This is not science to be blamed, the way we are utilizing it, this is what has happened. So India is a stark example, Africa is a worse example, Europe and America are pretty bad America is a very bad example. Europe manages because somebody else grows food for them most of the time. Now you're seeing it's happening. So this damage is across the globe. When it comes to soil, when it comes to soil ecology, when it comes to life on this planet, we cannot think in terms of nations. National boundaries are only human problem. National boundaries don't exist for other life, especially the microbial life is a global phenomena. You cannot cut this planet into pieces like a cake and say, this is my piece of the cake. It doesn't work like that. We should not take these things too seriously. National borders are for administration. National borders are for political purposes and administrative purposes because we don't have one body which can rule the whole world well, okay? We don't have such a facility, we don't have such an organization, so it has to be ruled as nations. But we should not think life itself happens separately as nations. Life happens as a planetary process. So a time has come when the world has to stand up and make this happen. This is not a protest, this is not an agitation, this is not against somebody, this is not a fight. Why I'm saying this is, if you say climate change, people say war against climate change. Right? Climate change is bad enough, you don't need a war on top of it. And global warming, and they're getting angry and shouting ugly things on the street. If you get angry, global warming will definitely happen. Hello? You know, when you get angry, everything gets hot. Hello? This is an expression of our love and responsibility for the life that we are, all of us, and the life that's around us, and the life that should be beyond us. There should be life beyond us, hello? Because we did not just suddenly happen from somewhere, because there was life before us and they were concerned about the future life. That's why we are here, isn't it? Should we not show the same concern for the future life? See, this is not a philosophy, this is not an ideology, this is not even a religious teaching. It is intrinsic to every one of you. You want your children to live better than you, hello? Nobody has to teach you these things. It is so deep inside you. But right now we are busy dismantling the foundations of good life for future generations. Because how each individual lives, you cannot fix it. As I told you, I am offering them a way that they can sit here blissfully, but no, you cannot decide that, it's their choice, how they are. But a few fundamentals are necessary for those who are interested in good life. Nutritious food, clean water, pure air to breathe, at least this much must always be there for every generation that may come even 10,000 years later, yes or no? Yes. But right now, we are in that place where within the next 25 to 40 years, there will be serious questions about these aspects of life. That's where we are. But we are also in that cusp of time that if we act now, in the next 10 to 15 years, we can make a significant turnaround. That's what is most important about us right now. Why we as a generation are very significant is, we are on that threshold, we can either turn back or fall over. If we attempt this after 35 to 40 years, even if you want it, it will not happen, because the biodiversity loss would have reached such a place that even if you want to regenerate the soil, it will not work. Now is the time, because it is just at that place. It is just at that tipping point. If we work hard enough, we can turn it back, otherwise it'll fall over. So will we be that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster? Or will we be that generation which slept through and fell over into the disaster and then grieve over it? Will we turn back? So it is not rocket science. It does not need enormous financial outlays. It just needs that we are right now facing a wall, we just have to face the door and determined to continue the journey for the next 10, 15 years' time. For this cannot happen unless it's instituted in the policy. Only then generations will walk in the same direction, otherwise each one will go in different ways. So the time for you and me to do something by ourselves, that time has gone by. You can still do what you want to do, but it will not be a solution that right now after listening to this, you go home and you want to fix your kitchen garden. Very cute. But it is not a solution, because solution has to be global, because the problem is of global scale right now. It is not the problem of kitchen garden, it is not the problem of my land and your land, it is the problem of the planet itself right now. This cannot be fixed unless there are policy changes. Fortunately, in these 66 days, we have 74 nations who have signed up for Save Soil movement. They got me, somebody here, they told me, I said, Oman, one more desert I have to ride. They said, no Sadhguru, Oman looks like Kerala, you must come. I said, okay, I would like to see some coconut trees. I've been looking since morning. I know. So what I am trying to tell you is, if one part of your nation is green, it just takes a determined effort to stretch that green all the way up. I want you to understand the simple fact of this. The simple facts of this is this. It is not rain which brings trees. It is the trees which bring rain. If this has to come up, there are ways to do it, there are many methods. Hopefully we can work with you in some way, we'll see that. But it is possible that you can turn this whole land green, because I want you to understand about 8 to 10,000 years ago, whole of Saudi Arabia was a lush rainforest. Can you believe that? But today, it's a desert. And one more interesting thing about Saudi Arabia is 54% of their food they are producing in their own country. Nobody seems to know this. UAE is making some effort in that direction now. Israel has produced 94% of their food in a very small piece of desert. I'm saying it can be done. It is just a question of, are we committed to making that happen? Is it worthwhile striving for it? What do you think? To bring, I don't want to call it Kerala, the beautiful monsoon lands of the southern Oman all the way up, is it worthwhile effort? It may take a generation, but it can be done, I'm telling you. Right now, we are working on a project called Kaveri Calling, you might have heard about it. Kaveri Basin is… Kaveri River is the lifeline for the southern states, and Kaveri Basin accounts for about 83,000 square kilometers. Before this, we wanted policy changes to manifest this. This movement is on for nearly 30 years, but we started working for policy changes about 11 years ago. It took 11 years to get the policies done in many states in India and in the central government. The laws were such that if a farmer plants a tree in his own land, and when he needs it, if he cuts it, he could be arrested by the police. So who will plant a tree? Tree is trouble, nobody wants to plant a tree. So to change these laws that a farmer can grow what he wants and cut it when he needs it, it took so long a time. But today, the government is giving subsidies for farmers to grow trees and use it according to their economics, whichever way it is. One important thing that I'm pushing for is, the term forest produce must go out of our vocabulary across the world. We should not enter the forest, leave the forest to itself, because that's very important for them to stay that way. Whatever we need timber, we need honey, we need certain resins, there are many forest products. Whatever we need, we can grow it on our lands. That is the important thing we need to do. Based on this, we started this tree-based agriculture. We wrote a policy for how to maintain tropical rivers in India. When I say a tropical river, you know what's a river? Okay. No, because you're in a desert, I'm asking. What is that? Wadi. Wadi. I saw some boats, some wadi. When I was on the highway, I saw something wadi something. Okay. So, tropical rivers, Indian rivers, let's say, only 4% of India's rivers are glacial ice. I'm saying this because in Europe and in Northern America, river means largely it comes from melting ice. Only 4% of India's river waters are from ice or melting ice. Rest is just monsoon rain. The rain that happens for 70 to 95 days in a year, soil should be able to hold it for 365 days and release it slowly. That is how a tropical river happens. But now, as we remove green cover in the land, to what extent means, we're very good at it. In Kaveri Basin, we have removed 84% of the tree cover. In Ganga Basin, which accounts for 25% of India's geography and 33% of India's agriculture, we have removed 92% of the tree cover. This is our plan for future. Now it is changing, beginning to happen, but a tree doesn't happen overnight. To call something a tree, it takes minimum 10 to 15 years. You can't… people say, we planted a tree. No, you plant a seed. Seed becomes a sapling. Tree happens only after 10-15 years' time. Tree doesn't happen overnight. I know, I see in Muscat you planted big trees from somewhere else, but that they were taken away from somewhere else, all right? You got it into the city, but taken away from somewhere else. It's all right. For the beauty of the urban lands, you do it, but it is ripped from somewhere else, isn't it? You did not create a new tree. It is just transported here and there. It's okay. But this Rally for Rivers I started, we wrote a policy document how to manage a tropical river so that it flows 365 days. Kaveri River, for millions of years it must have flown 365 years, but in the last 15 years, it dries up 175 kilometers inland almost for 4 to 4.5 months. In the Kaveri basin, it was part of the culture that farmers never refer to their land or to their soil as soil. They always called it tangam, that means it's gold. Because 4 crops in a year they were growing, and it was like gold for them because a farmer was the richest man in that region. But today, 1 crop, many people can't even grow 1 crop because it's just depleted. I grew up around Kaveri River. What it was 50 years ago, today only 40% of the river is left. That is what we are doing to nature around us. That is what we are doing to the fundamentals of our survival. So when we wrote this river policy, I decided to get the support of people, so I drove from the southern tip of India to Himalayas. In 29 days, we got the support of 162 million people. Because of this number, when we presented this to the central government, within 3.5 months, it became the official recommended policy for all the 28 states. And 6 states went for it proactively, others, they wait for a disaster. People need a disaster to act. Certain number of people should die, something terrible should happen, then only many people will move. But if you are a sensible human being, if it's your family, should you not always act before disaster hits them? Hello? Is that not true for your country? Is that not true for this planet and the world? That we must act before disasters come? But this is the mode, so we thought we must establish a really large-scale example that it works. So Kaveri calling started and 83,000 square kilometers, 5.2 million farmers live and work here. And looking at the success of Kaveri calling now on the ground, 5 UN agencies have joined up with us, and Government of India made 13 detailed project reports for 13 river basins that accounts for 67% of India's land. If these projects are implemented, India's soil is above the crest, for sure. It will take 12-15 years to do this, but we were pushing for a budget or something because it is all approved but nothing happened. Just now when I was on this ride, about a month and a half ago, about 40-45 days ago, Government of India sanctioned $2.3 billion for these 13 river projects. I'm saying, this is how national policies work. Unless you're committed, unless your commitment is relentless commitment towards what needs to happen, it will not come through. That goes for your nation, that goes for every nation in the world, because when large-scale situations have to be changed, you don't expect it to happen overnight. If we continuously keep the direction, if people want it, you think anything will not happen in this world? Hello? If people really want it, you think it will not happen? It has to happen, isn't it? But the problem is this, tell me, in which country 60% of the population has ever stood up and expressed their concern for the future well-being of their nation or for the future well-being of their children. No, they are asking for trinkets. I want my road to be paved, I want 1% discount in the tax. They're getting those things. It is time as humanity, you begin to think long-term and ask for long-term well-being. Otherwise, no government can act long-term without people's will. This is all I'm asking. At least 60% of the world's population should express long-term concern for their nation and for the world. Only then this can be done. As I said, fortunately, in 66 days, 2.3 billion people have responded. Now that Muscat is the last nation for me before I enter India. If all of you here, if you're willing to spend 15–20 minutes every day on your phones or whatever instruments you have, if you get me the remaining 1.7 billion people, I'll just have a joyride through India. Hello? What does that mean? Yes or no? Let's make it happen. But you see, you can only help those people who are willing to be helped. Hello? Without willingness, you can't do anything. This happened one day. Maybe you don't know this. Shankaran Pillai had 3 sons. Oh, you know? Okay. Shankaran Pillai had 3 sons and one day he called them because fathers have this privilege of calling their children and say, "Hey, listen to me now." So he said, "Listen here, you boys, you're doing nothing good in your life. Good things you must do." Am I getting the accent right? You must do good things. What good things have you done? The boy said, "What is a good thing, father? We don't know what's a good thing to do." So, he said, "Do some good things." What should we do? See, when I say we must save soil, first thing is, what can we do? Same the boys. How do we do good things? They asked. Do something good. But father, we don't know what is good. How do we do good things? Then he said, "Okay, go there, help some old lady to cross the street." Then they went. In the evening they came. He asked the first boy, "Did you do any good thing today?" He said, "Yes, father." "What did you do?" "I helped the old lady to cross the street." "Oh, very good boy, you did that." He asked the second boy, "What did you do?" He said, "I also helped the old lady to cross the street." What? Okay, he asked the third boy, "What did you do?" "I also helped an old lady to cross the street." He said, "What? All of you helped an old lady to cross the street?" "Not just 3 of us, father. We couldn't do it ourselves, we also sought the help of our cousin Ramu. He also came. Together we helped this lady to cross the street." What nonsense, does it take 4 young boys to help an old lady to cross the street? "Oh, father, you don't know how stubborn these old ladies are. She just wouldn't cross." Life is only available if you're willing, hello? All good things are available to you only if you're willing, isn't it? Save soil, let's make it happen. I want all of you to say it in one voice. 1, 2, 3, save soil, let us make it happen. Thank you very much, Oman Muscat. Thank you, all of you. It is very special, very special to be in Muscat because as I said, I have read so much about this ancient Indian Ocean maritime relationship between India and this region. That's one thing that excited me to come here. And another thing is, They promised me it looks like Kerala. Another thing is that this is the last step of my journey before I enter India. It's really absolutely wonderful to be with all of you. Thank you very, very, very much for having me here. It's my great privilege that I could step on this ancient land. Thank you very much. Namaskaram to all of you. There is a soil anthem. I want you to listen to this and make it reverberate, not across Muscat. If you promise me, I will hear the voice of Oman across the globe talking about soil. If I hear that, I will visit you within the next 24 months, 24 months. That is only if you make so much noise about soil. This is not about me, this is not about me, this is not about the organization, this is about soil. You need to talk about soil, not me, okay? You must talk about soil.